Yo, what's up, y'all? Today I'm doing a little ring workout. I'm gonna take you with me, so let's do it. So I always begin each workout of mine with a light jog. I ran about 1/4 of a mile or so here just to get my heart rate up and my blood flow elevated. So now I'm setting up my rings on a soccer goal on my campus. These rings cost me $40 and they're really easy to use, and I'm really enjoying them. They're probably one of my most favorite fitness investments in a long time, and they're very unstable because you're hanging from the strap, so it's good for making exercises a lot harder. And yeah, it takes me like a minute to set them up. Really convenient. Lastly here, I finished up my warm-up before beginning my routine for the day, doing some burpees, some shoulder dislocates with the resistance band, and just shaking my body out and stuff to loosen up and get ready to work. So first up today, we're doing the pull part of my workout. This one's called the German hang. It's not really a pull exercise, but more like a shoulder mobility exercise. Takes the joint into deep extension, stretches the biceps, the chest, and the lats. So I did 3 sets of 12 seconds with a decreased range of motion, just because my mobility wasn't too good. So next up, I moved on to doing some skin the cats, which is clearly not a very vegan-friendly exercise name, but I digress. This is just a German hang put into motion, and again I used a decreased range of motion to work with where my shoulder mobility was at to avoid injuring myself. And this is just a really good dynamic shoulder mobility exercise, and competency in this movement is a prerequisite for the back lever exercise, and back lever is something I aspire to learn one day. So now I'm doing pull-ups for 3 sets of 5, really focusing on exploding up and coming down nice and controlled, getting a good eccentric contraction. Pull-ups probably the best back body weight exercise overall, and I definitely have some room to improve here. This workout's actually filmed a month ago, so I've gotten a little better at pull-ups, but yeah. So here I'm warming up my wrist in preparation for using a false grip, which I'll be using in the next exercise to do some chin-ups. So as you can see here with the false grip, the rings are at the base of my hands with my wrists heavily flexed over. This is a crucial grip for doing the muscle up with the rings, which is something I hope to do one day. So I'm kind of training my false grip and doing chin-ups at the same time as best as I can, and it's hard to use a full range of motion with it. So next up, I did some wide grip rows. Pretty proud of my form here. This is a pretty tough exercise, and as you can see, I'm really squeezing my entire posterior chain to maintain tension throughout the movement. The row is basically the opposite of a push-up, targeting the back muscles that pull the body, like the lats, traps, and the rear delts. Lastly, for pull today, I did some face pulls, which work well with these rings. If you can't tell already, there are so many workouts you can do with these rings, and I haven't missed the gym or gym equipment at all, really. This exercise targets the arms and the upper back muscles, such as the rear delts, rhomboids, and some rotator cuff muscles. So with pull done, I moved into the push part of my workout today. Started with 60 seconds total of rings turned out support holds, focusing on depressing my scapulae, locking out my elbows, and trying to turn the rings out with my wrists to make the exercise more intense. The support hold is a foundational ring exercise that really tests the integrity of the wrist, elbow, and shoulder joints, and it works the muscles of the core, arms, shoulders, rotator cuff, and back. followed that up with some dips, which has been my favorite push exercise as of late. Did 3 sets of 6 here. Dips are much harder and more challenging on the rings compared to still bars because of the instability of the rings. It takes a lot of extra effort to keep them as stable and as close to my body as I do here. Dips mainly target the lower chest, the triceps, and the anterior deltoids. So next up, I did 3 sets of 3 false grip assisted muscle ups. As you can see, my legs are on the ground here just because it's too hard for me to hold the false grip just hanging with my body weight alone. So I'm really trying to maintain tension throughout the movement and transition into that dip as fast as possible, just like with the real muscle up. And main idea here is to teach my nervous system the movement pattern, which will help later on as I learn the full muscle up. So I followed that up with some push-ups with a really close grip to target the triceps a bit more. Was really focusing on exploding up in that concentric phase and coming down nice and controlled in that eccentric phase. I do all of my push-up variations with the posterior pelvic tilt, as you can see here. Basically, I'm squeezing my ass muscles really hard to bring the bottom of my pelvis forward, which produces whole body tension, which allows me to better isolate the working muscles and push through each rep with as much force as possible. So last up for push, I did 3 sets of 5 pike push ups with the rings, which is sort of the calisthenics equivalent of the shoulder press in the gym. I created this deep vertical pushing angle by bringing my feet closer to the rings and going up on my tiptoes. This is a really great exercise that mainly works the shoulders. So with the push part of my workout done, I moved into some skill work. Here I was doing some pike leg lifts, trying to improve my hip flexor strength and my ab compression strength. It's a really tough workout and it's crucial for maintaining that straight leg posture in the L-sit. I followed up those leg lifts with some tucked L-sit holds, trying my best for 2 sets of 15 seconds. This is really challenging on the rings, and as you can see, I'm really wobbling all over the place like there's an earthquake. Really tough. Lastly, I finished up my skill work for the day with some ground L-sits, holding it as many seconds as possible. Low-key harder than the ring variation. Maybe I was just too fatigued by this point. Lastly, for the day, I did a little post-workout cool down, just trying to slow my breathing down, breathe deeply into my diaphragm and my chest, opening up the chest. Here I'm just shaking my body out, trying to release some extra tension in my musculature that I developed over this routine. Really helps me loosen up for the rest of the day, you know, get out of that workout mode. It feels really good, and it's just important for me to stay mobile and shit. Like, once I'm done with my workout, I need to just not get stiff, so this part is really important for me. Alright y'all, thank you so much for watching. We're at the end of this video. As you can see, I'm back in my apartment now. I'm about to have my post-workout smoothie here. Hope you enjoyed coming along for this ring workout. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And with that said, take care.